when we think about productivity, most of the time we think about the moments when the business is going well, when it's smooth, and so we think about a flow. What's the flow of the business, the daily rhythm of the business? But one of the things we also have to think about is when the business is going to hit an unexpected event, and maybe that's an unexpected event that is personal. You couldn't predict that somebody in your family would pass away, for instance, or that your health is all of a sudden tanking, or that one of your kids needs more attention than before. You can plan all you want, you can have the best flow that you want, but you also have to be aware that it's not if you're going to run into unexpected things, emergencies, but when you're going to have to do that. And and how do you recover from these moments of disruptions? So I want to share an example, the personal example. Yesterday, my day was going great. I was going to work until about right before dinner, so about 6:30, and then be with my family. But my family came early from school, and I started to sense that two of my kids, teenagers, needed more attention. They were a little restless. And so I had to stop my work, and I had to, because my office is also in my house. I have a home office, and I had to turn my attention to them. I had to uh, go with the constraints of the fact that I have a family. That's my choice. I decided that I want to be present, available to my family. And it turns out that the evening didn't go very well. Lots of tension, lots of anger from the kids. Something had happened in school, and homework was late. I can't go into the details here, but my whole evening went sideways. Couldn't finish my work. I was really not in the mindset of going back to work, and yet I had promised a couple of important things to some of my clients and to myself as well. So I decided to go with the constraints, and that was my way to address the unexpected event, and knowing that I would be able to recover from that. And my approach to this was to accept the constraints, so that I can preserve the flow, and also remind myself that tomorrow was going to be a new beginning. So instead of fighting the constraints, I accepted the bottleneck here, and my flow got interrupted. And instead of trying to push through the bottleneck, which would have meant working extra late, sending the kids to bed, and then working another 2, maybe 3 hours because I get tired. And when I'm tired, I'm slower. I decided to actually walk my talk and send my kids to bed and show and lead by example, and also go to bed. And I went to bed around 9:30, 9:40, which is normal bedtime here for this family, for our kids, especially, who need to grow and who need the rest. And I needed the rest as well. And so I just completely let go of everything. That was my way to face the event, knowing that I would be able to recover, that the sleep that I needed would help me recover. Um, when you build your recovery plan, and I'll finish the story in a moment of what happened today. When you build the recovery plan, try to include options that bring you joy, that you feel are going to help you recenter. It could be very small things, such as music that you like, scents that you enjoy. Could be connections that are meaningful to you, people you can call, uh, food that makes you feel good. So try to build a recovery plan that activates your senses, so that you bring your resilience ability back to a higher degree, as my friend and colleague Bill Hefferman, expert in resilience, would say, so that it brings you above the line. It could be the water line, but if you're under the water, completely in fight or flight mode, and you're stressed out by the disruption, try to think about what in those moments could help you regain buoyancy and get above the line. For me, I know that just a few minutes of mindfulness and breathing will help a lot, for instance. So that's what I did last night. I isolated myself a little bit, and I I did some breathing, for instance. But whatever your system might be, there is no cookie cutter rule. It's up to you to come up and discover through the way you identify your own flow, how you're going to be able to grow through those moments of disruptions. Another thing that you might want to consider here is that is how you build that resilience plan, that disruption plan is sometimes not through not through just waiting for the big events to happen, but maybe noticing the smaller things that will create disruption in your flow, such as maybe you're dealing with a hard client or customer. You have to deal with complaints or tensions, or you are in a meeting or working with somebody with which you don't align, you don't click. It just the power, the energy doesn't flow between you, right? It just doesn't. It's not a good fit. It's not a good match. So these are all moments during the day, during the week that can create disruption and for which you need to have a plan. So I'll finish my story because then I went to bed last night and I woke up naturally, completely ready for this day, fully rested, around 4-ish, 4 a.m. this morning. And I caught up. My body signaled, hey, I'm ready now. I can continue where we left off. And I immediately caught up and got back to the work I wanted to finish and got it done and was right on time to go for my 6:30 a.m. walk. I do a walk here. We have a great park and a hill here where next to where I live, and I go on a walk every morning at 6:30. And I didn't miss my walk because I knew that too would bring me the joy to carry on today, to show up in front of you, to help my clients, to serve my clients to the best of my ability. And uh, I was able to bring back the flow of productivity because another tip for you, another system, because I know and I've explored the habits that enable my flow to rise again in moment of disruption. So that might be another way you build your emergency kit, emergency productivity recovery plan, is to know when does your energy flows the best, meaning when in terms of timing, but also in terms of activity. What are the tasks? What are the things during the day that will resurrect your flow sooner than later? So I hope this video was helpful. And as always, welcome your questions and comments. Thank you so much.